Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Unicorns and Typewriters. My name is Skylar and I'm back today with another exciting booktube video. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about my August reading goals. I know I kind of skipped my July reading wrap up and well, I wish I could say there was a really great reason other than I've just been really super busy, and also I did not finish any books in July. It's bad. It's really bad. I was working on reading 3 different books, which might have been part of my problem, this whole problem I have of reading 3 books instead of just reading 1 at a time. But I did make some pretty good progress and I got to go to the beach. If you watched my last video, I did a video kind of with a beach aesthetic. It's kind of fun. It's only like 2 minutes. If you haven't checked it out yet, you should do that. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about my August reading goals instead of rehashing and going backwards on my failure of July. I thought I would just move forward with the future and talk about what my reading goals are for the month of August. And I also have a mini haul. I did go to my favorite used bookstore and I got just a few books that I'm excited to share, but I thought I would talk about them in this video because that's fun. Of course, in the month of August, I plan on finishing the 3 books that I started, which is the book that is featured in my beach video, A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. And then I am also reading the book Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi. I do not think this one is going to take me a lot longer to finish. I'm really enjoying it. It's just very heavy, and I kind of knew that going into it, but it's just very heavy. It's not boring, but it's heavy, and I tend to read little bits of it at once. Fun thing about this book that I love, like, look at the little hands. They're holding hands, but it's like on the pages. I think that's so cool. Anyway, fun fact of the day. And then I am also finishing the infamous Midnight Sun by Stephenie Meyer. I talked about that book saying I was hoping I was going to finish it in July. I believe I talked about that at the beginning of July. I've talked about it in a couple different videos. I am struggling with Midnight Sun. Please let me know below in the comments if any of you struggled. To be fair, I probably should have never picked it up. I should have never even started it. But once I got to the halfway point, like 300 pages in, I was like, I cannot stop here. I have to finish it. And I don't know why I did that to myself. I should have DNF'd it after like the first couple chapters. To be real, I really overrated the amount of nostalgia I would feel. Mostly I just feel not good, very icky about it. 10 out of 10 do not recommend Midnight Sun, but we'll get to that at a later date once I actually finish reading it, because now I'm determined, even though I 10 out of 10 should have DNF'd it at some point. I just have to live with these life choices I've made. Those 3 books I plan on finishing this month. I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. I really don't have a lot of Midnight Sun left. I really don't have a lot of Yolk left. And A Conjuring of Light, if I don't finish it this month, that would be on purpose, because I purposely choose to read other books. And I may end up saving that. I have something going on at the beginning of September that I may enjoy saving it for, because it is just such a good book and I know I'm gonna enjoy it. It's just one of those like, you can bet on loving it kind of books, and I might need that kind of distraction in the beginning of September. So there's a chance I might yet again put that one on the back burner, but we'll see. So since I am reading Yolk and I'm reading Midnight Sun, mostly at this point by Stephenie Meyer, those 2 books, like Midnight Sun is not a contemporary, but they both are very focused on, they're both kind of downers. They're both very focused on like life and death and mortality and some love. Obviously, Yolk is a much better book than Midnight Sun, but they're both pretty heavy, to be honest. Once again, still don't hate the Twilight series. I don't hate it. It's okay. We don't have to hate what teenage girls love, but guys, it is just so bad. So anyway, now that I'm reading those kind of heavy books dealing with life and death, I'm really wanting to get lost in a fantasy book, and I am really thinking of like young adult more so than like the Conjuring of Light book, even though I know I'm gonna love it once I finally actually sit down and read it. So I think this month I'm going to try to get myself reinvigorated, because I feel kind of down on myself for a lot of reasons, but also I feel down on myself with reading because, like I said, I just kind of didn't finish a book in July, and part of me thinks it is the books I'm choosing. If I had just DNF'd Midnight Sun, I probably would have finished a different book, at least one other book, if not 2 books, to be real, with the amount of time I am spending on Midnight Sun. But once again, I'm living with the decisions I've made. So, books for the month of August, though, I'm really excited. I would like to really delve into some that I've been really wanting to read and try to re-inspire myself. A book that I'm definitely thinking of is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is obviously a fantasy book about, my understanding is like about magic books and a magical library, and having read Margaret Rogerson's other book, An Enchantment of Ravens, I just feel like this is going to be a lot of fun and I'm going to really enjoy it. Plus, a lot of people who read An Enchantment of Ravens liked this one even better, and I really liked An Enchantment of Ravens, so I can't really imagine it gets much better, but I'm excited to give it a go. So this is definitely on my list. Another YA fantasy that I've been really thinking about getting into is Bone Crier's Moon. This came in an Outcrate box a while back, and I just had not gotten to read it yet, but I know the sequel is already out, and I was thinking about just getting the sequel, but I don't know, I feel like I should really read this one first. So I am hoping to read this one in the next couple of months, but hopefully maybe this month. I'm thinking it could be a good time. I have also really been thinking about picking back up the Beautiful Creatures series. I read this series such a long time ago, I believe like in the beginning of high school, and I absolutely loved it, but I never read the sort of spin-off, so I don't know that I'm gonna actually go back and read the whole series, but I'm kind of interested in reading the spin-off, which I own the first 2 books to. I don't know if there are more books than that. I actually need to look into it and see, but I do have the first 2 books, which are Dangerous Creatures and Dangerous Deception. These are by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stohl, as is the original series. And I know these follow, from what I understand, they follow the characters of Ridley and Link. And Ridley is Lena's cousin, or Lena. I've never been sure how you're actually supposed to pronounce her name. And I think in the movie it's Lena, but when I was reading it, I thought of her as Lena. So that's confusing, but I'm really sad that this series didn't get more movies. Let's just throw that out there. I really wish that the series had gotten more movies, because even though at first I wasn't thrilled with the choice of the actors and actresses, they really grew on me and I really liked the first movie and I wish they had done more. Anyway, regardless, I mean, they totally set it up all wrong and screwed themselves over. They could have set it up more like the book and made it more possible to do more movies. They kind of like did it in a way that made it hard to. But I really wish they had, because I think it would have been really cool to have seen this whole series on the big screen. But regardless, I would really like to read these at some point. I never did. Please let me know in the comments below. Have you read this series? Did you finish it all the way? Did you read these? Is there another one? Let me know what you thought of them, because I'd love to know. Because yeah, it'd be great to hear some positive feedback to encourage me, or negative if you guys think I should put it on the back burner and revisit it another time. But yeah, I just really love the world, which kind of leads into one of the books that I ended up picking up this month. So let's get into that. As promised, I have a sort of mini book haul already for this month as well. I just could not resist. And I went to my favorite used bookstore and I saw this series sitting there. They actually only had the first book and the third book. If they had had the second book as well, I might have gotten them all, but I decided to practice self-control, and instead of getting the first and third, just get the first and see if I like it, and then get the second, and then if the third is still there, I will probably also buy it. But I decided to pace myself and not be too much, because I could end up, hating this book, who knows. But it has reviews. It looks like some of the comments say that it kind of is comparable to the Beautiful Creatures series, because it takes place in the South and it has a sort of Southern Gothic atmosphere to it, which I loved about the Beautiful Creatures series. I really loved the Southern Gothic setting, so I'm excited to see what this one is like. Please let me know if you've read it because I'm really excited to hear others' opinions. It seemed to have a pretty good rating on Goodreads, so I'm hoping it was a good choice. But I picked up Compulsion. It is the first book in the Heirs of Watson Island series by Martina Boone. It says 3 plantations, 2 wishes, 1 ancient curse. And I don't know. It says that it's about this girl. Her name is Barry Watson. She's been a virtual prisoner in the house where she lives with her shut-in mother. When her mother dies, Barry promises to put some miles on her stiletto heels. I thought that sounded super corny, but whatevers. But she finds a new kind of prison at her aunt's South Carolina plantation, a prison guarded by an ancient spirit who long ago cursed one of the 3 founding families of Watson Island and gave the others magical gifts that became compulsions. So she is stuck with the ghosts of a generation's old feud and hunted by forces she can't see. Barry must find a way to break free of the family legacy. With the help of sun-kissed 8 Beaufort, who knows what Barry wants before she knows it herself, the last Watson heir starts to unravel her family's twisted secrets. What she finds is dangerous, a love she never expected, a river that turns to fire at midnight, a gorgeous cousin who isn't what she seems, and very real enemies who want both 8 and Barry dead. Spooky. So I'm really excited to give this one a try. It sounds interesting. I'm always a little nervous about sort of the glorification, what would you call it? I think that's what you would call it. The glorification of like plantations in the South. But I'm hoping that maybe there is some kind of acknowledgement of that plays into maybe this curse going on with her family owning a plantation. I don't know. I'm excited to find out. Like I said, I looked it up on Goodreads because I was a little about it when I read that one line about her wanting to get out on her stilettos. I was like, who even wears stilettos anymore? Who has time for that? It just sounds like a Hallmark movie, like intro. I'm gonna get out there on these stilettos. I don't know, it's too much. It's too much for me. But the Goodreads reviews were pretty good for this. They were actually pretty high, so I was like, And it is a Simon Pulse imprint book, and I feel like a lot of Simon Pulse books are really good. I don't know. I tend to like Simon Pulse books. I don't know why. So I was like just intrigued, and like I said, I decided to just get the first book and see how it makes me feel in my soul before I go and like buy the 3rd book as well without being able to have the 2nd book. And yeah, anyway, even though it was tempting because prices. The prices are so good at this bookstore. But anyway, I'm really excited to give this one a go, and I might also read this month. I don't know. Maybe I will just go for a new book. I am just feeling so uninspired. I need something to like get hyped about reading again, so could be fun. I don't know. I'll let you guys know at the end of the month. And the other book that I picked up is an old copy of a Holly Black book, and that is White Cat by Holly Black. And I've been wanting to pick up some of her other books for a long time. I do have her old fairy books that I still haven't read. Maybe I should read those this month. But so many decisions. But I saw this one on the shelf, and I saw they had every other book in the series except for this one in the newer covers. And I was like, oh, maybe I should wait and get this one in the newer cover, and then I could get the used ones in the new cover and I'd have the proper set. But I just couldn't like stop staring at this cover. I know it's old school. I know it's like early 2000s to have like a person front and center, like an actual picture, and not, you know, the newer books tend to have illustrations. This is obviously an actual photograph of a model holding a cat. And I just couldn't stop staring at it. I kind of like, I partially like this cover and I partially think it's hilarious. And I just like it. I just needed it. I don't know why. I just needed this book with this like kind of stereotypically attractive man holding a white cat. I just thought it was so funny. So here I am with this weird old copy of Holly Black's book. But I just really liked it, and when I held it up to the sizes of the newer books, it actually like matches them in size, so it'll still look good on the shelf together, even though the covers won't match exactly. I actually like this cover better than the newer ones. The newer ones are kind of like a graphic design, but I just think this is really funny. It made me feel really nostalgic, this kind of early 2000s look to a cover, and I just had to get it just to have something else of Holly Black's to read, because at the end of the day, I want to probably read all of her books. I've been enjoying her work so much that since I picked it up in the last couple of years, that I definitely feel like that's going to be a thing for me, to just want to read all of Holly Black's book over time. Like, I'm not going to be like racing to read her books, but I do have an interest in reading them over the course of time. So I was glad to have this one to be able to put on my shelf. And then if I really enjoy it, of course, it's fun because it's a series. Even if I can't find the old covers of the other two, which I don't actually know what the old covers look like, but even if I can't find them, I can always get the new covers, and it's still the same size, so I won't have that issue where the spines look all weird on the shelf together. They'll still kind of match. But yeah, I couldn't resist this very weird and also somewhat appealing cover. So yeah, other than that, you might notice that I've brought over a couple more candles that I've added to my shelves. I don't know if you can actually see them all in this video or not. There are still so many more things that I want to put on this shelf, and I still need to bring over some boxes of books. So I just wanted to get a video in. To be honest, I was really not feeling filming a video today, and I kind of had to really push myself to film this. I know that sounds pretty lame. So in closing, I just want to say that mental health is important and you should take care of yourself. And that's honestly why I didn't film and post a video last week, on top of just being way too busy. I have been feeling a little bit down on videos in general, but I'm working on that. I don't want to give up just because it's hard and challenging and it's hard to find time, but I also don't want to keep making videos if it's just draining me and not a good use of my creative energy. I also am a writer, and I started this channel at a time when I was having a difficult time writing, and now sometimes I feel like this channel is keeping me from writing. So that is something I'm trying to keep in mind. Sometimes you only have time for so many creative endeavors when you work a full-time job and have other important responsibilities. If for some reason I don't post videos regularly over the next couple of weeks, it is because I'm getting ready for a wedding as well. A family member is getting married, and I'm very excited and happy for them, and I am part of the wedding party, and it's so much fun, but it's also a really big time commitment. So if I am not posting videos regularly over the next couple weeks, I do apologize. It's not because I'm disappearing, even though I'm struggling a little bit. It is just because I literally have no free time. I will hopefully be back with another video soon, and I'll try to get creative maybe and do something kind of like my beach video. If you guys liked that, let me know in the comments, because I might have more time to do something a little more creative like that than I do to do a full video like this. But I will try my best, and I hope you guys hang in there, because I am a work in progress like everyone else, and trying my best to improve this channel every single week. And I really hope that it can become even more like what I want it to be. You know, it's like I kind of have an end goal of what I want this channel to be, and I'm always working toward it, in appearance, in editing, in content. So I would love to get owl crate boxes again sometime soon, so I'm hoping maybe that's a thing in the future. So keep tuned in for that, and I will be back with another video as soon as possible. I hope you all have a good rest of your week. Thanks for watching. Bye.